It's so funny.
Can you finish pushing it?
Tega now.
Tega, come
We'll
and sit
say
here
it's
now.
more comfortable for
Tega,
you.
please.
Are you done?
Tega, please.
What is sitting?
Tega,
how was
Give me
your
don't be
change.
Tega, come and
difficult.
sit now.
Sit
Is that
now.
why you're still speaking?
Give me change.
Tega.
Mics are up. Mics are up.
Sorry.
Studio is live. Good morning and thank you for joining us. It's yet another exciting time in sports with Tega. Tega Onojaife.
Good morning, Lagos.
Good morning. Tega is so funny. You should watch her face, see her facial expressions on YouTube. Just type Smooth 91 FM Lagos. And welcome, Tope.
Good morning. Got me
Tope
feeling
Cole.
like Israel Adesanya this morning.
How?
Fly.
Oh, for real?
Winner.
Interesting. Tega, please let us know how the conference went yesterday, the International Women's Day special that you had at Oriental.
Oh yeah, it was good. At least we had that some of the athletes in attendance. Unfortunately, Choma couldn't make it because of police games. It ended on Saturday, but you know how it is to fly out of Asaba. My people, if you don't have a broom, you have to
Oh, Lord.
you have to wait for missed flights. but it was great to hear from the athletes. I remember talking to one of the athletes. I said, "You're going to speak. You're going to have your pictures taken." I said, people didn't tell me I was going to speak, so I would have prepared things. I said, "Oh, those are the things you have to do to get money. Just so you know, just put your face out there, put your voice out there, and speak up for yourself, so that people listen to you, and then they can buy you stuff, or they can pay for your training and your everything you need to do. That nobody's going to put money to athletes they don't know. So sometimes they don't know all these things." And then Odunaya Adekore told us her story. By the way, Odunaya Adekore is the number one wrestler, not just in Nigeria, Africa. So she came out to tell us her story, how her mother didn't want her to go into sports, not talk of wrestling. Wrestling was a no-go area. She's like, my small daughter, you want to beat my small daughter in this wrestling. And so her coach had to convince her mom that she was good and wrestling is not as bad as she thinks it is. Because some of you watch all those WWE, and just imagine that's the wrestling. So her mother didn't want her to go into it, and then after her coach spoke to mother said, "Okay, let's see how it will be for the first season." And next thing, she's traveling around the world, she's winning medals. And mother was like, "Okay, this was a fantastic idea." There's something here. So her speech on the day was that parents should let their children come out to play. And then I saw MI. He came to support. Yes, MI came to support, where the two other men, in fact, I will quarrel later. I will keep my list. Where the two other men in the studio did not come out. So MI, this is for you.
Well, that way you didn't answer me when I asked you off air.
Yeah, because you could have found out yourself.
Ouch.
But also, another thing that happened yesterday, parents walked up to me and said her daughter does track, and she's very good. She wins medals, and she wants to see if she can help her daughter pursue that. So I was like, oh,
that's beautiful.
This is an event that we should regularly have, so that if people need information on schools to choose, how to grow their children's career, basically. So it was an interesting day. Women hung out, we danced, we laughed, we took pictures. Hopefully we'll be able to push for more support for women in sports.
And if you missed it, you can find those pictures on the Instagram handle.
And some videos. Just follow us at LIS International. The international has no A in between the N and the L.
Okay.
So
LIS International. Yeah.
Just no A.
Right. Please, in your reactions to this story, send your message to WhatsApp 0809444091. That's 0809444091. Or Twitter at Smooth981FM. The hashtag is LockerRoom981, and we're streaming live on YouTube. Please subscribe. Now, LMC confirmed death of Nasarawa United player, calls for autopsy. That's a sad story that hit the news. I saw this morning the league management company has confirmed the report of the death of Chineme Martins, a defender with Nasarawa United FC. He slumped during the Nigerian Professional Football League NPFL Match Day 23 against Katsina United in Lafia. The player was attended to by medics of the two clubs when he slumped and was later rushed to the Dalhat Tuaraf Specialist Hospital in Lafia, where he was later pronounced dead. The chairman of the LMC, Shehu Diko, said that the league regrets the passing of the young man in his prime.
Yeah, it was a sad day for Nigerian professional football. I mean, the guy collided with a Katsina United player, and I can only imagine how the player that he collided with is feeling. But very, very sad for Nigerian football, for Nasarawa United also. And I also understood that he was rushed in a press crew vehicle. There was no ambulance on the field, and that's weird.
Okay, no, the ambulance was there. It just didn't start.
They all join now.
No. If you say there was no ambulance, it'd be like they didn't make provision.
Yes,
okay.
It was there,
Yeah.
but it did not start.
Okay. But it was very sad, and can only commiserate with his family and NPFL as a whole, and the club also.
But I think there are videos put out, first of all, of the reaction of the players after their teammates was carried away. But I think the one that shocked me the most, because immediately he went down, I kind of figured that this could only be cardiac arrest. It looked to me from where I was. I'm not a medical professional, but I could tell that it was not necessarily an effect of the collision.
Okay.
But it was the ridiculous way they reacted to it that got to me. Somebody turned him over, another person held his mouth open. There was somebody's hand on his chest, there was another person hitting the bottom of it. I was like, where are the real medical? So when they write this to and say medical professionals from both teams attended to him, I saw a bunch of people there
who clearly
did not know what was going on. First of all, you clear the area so that the medical staff can do what they need to do.
Yeah.
Number one thing, I understand that people want to help
First
your
aid.
teammates, but they didn't know they didn't know ordinary CPU, they didn't know anything. So why are you crowding the scene? So give room for the medical staff to be able to do what they needed to do. And too many people shouting instructions, there was chaos. It's not, after this, what the LMC needs to do is proper training for how to respond to this kind of situations. No need for PR. We're sorry for the loss of the life. We commiserate with the family. All that is well and good. What next? Have a conference, for crying out loud, and educate especially those that have the authorization to come on the pitch on what to do. You cannot crowd him like it was ridiculous.
Someone that needs air, yeah, even blocking
You know,
the
and
air.
then they take off the shirts and they're fanning him, and I'm like, no, just move away so that the people that know how to handle this situation can deal with it. So because before the medical professional gets there, he has to push through a crowd first of all, and it's just not right. So that's the first thing the LMC needs to address: training the staff on different things, on CPR, on first way to respond, or first responders manual and principles and all that, and then follow it to the letter.
Yeah,
That's what we need to do.
please let the ambulance start next.
And please make
But
sure
then
that
cars that have proper ignition issues.
Exactly.
Ignition.
Who knows if there was fuel safe?
Gosh. May you so rest in peace.
Amen.
The Formula One Bahrain Grand Prix will be restricted to participants only, and no fans will be allowed to attend due to coronavirus concerns. Organizers announced this yesterday. Now, Bahrain International Circuit said in a statement, and I quote, spread of COVID-19 globally, convening a major sporting event which is open to the public and allows thousands of international travelers and local fans to interact in close proximity would not be the right thing to do at the present time.
Okay, I would say this for F1, they're really taking this seriously. Indian Wells, by the way, the tennis tournament has been cancelled. At first, they were saying they were going to wear gloves, they were going to wear face masks, then they just cancelled it all totally. So Indian Wells is not holding. Maybe to hold later in the year, or maybe to not hold this year at all. But for now, it's off. So you can see some major tournaments calling off their events. But with F1, they're saying, okay, it's going to hold, but no fans can come in. So it will be televised, and you can watch as you can see everything that is going on, but we don't want to spread it because of the people that are traveling in. I mean, they can monitor with teams. They pretty much know how many people are coming with teams. They can monitor that crowd. They can do their tests, carry out their tests. But for the general public that are going to be flying in from different places, you know how it is. The F1 crowd will be coming from different parts of the world. They can't handle that. So, and they have 83 cases of the coronavirus in the Middle East, and they want to keep that number down. So they're not going to be inviting more. So that you said, everybody watch at home.
Yeah.
That's why we paid for TV rights, so you can watch at home. For me, because of what is happening, I think that's a step in the right direction. If we are going to have the Grand Prix at all, let's just nobody comes at all to the stadium. But with Australia, there's still no question of fans not coming to the stadium. Maybe because Australia hasn't been as hit as Europe has with the coronavirus. But they have not said anything about not letting the fans come into the stadium. As far as we know, the Grand Prix is going to go on as planned.
Okay.
And it's not a contact sport, so I can understand F1 going ahead with it. I'm surprised that the tennis tournament also did not go ahead because
No,
it's
it's
not
not.
a contact sport.
No,
They
no,
can't-
it's not the
contact sport.
player.
It's
It's
the
the
spectators.
It's the spectators.
They can play it in behind closed doors now.
Yes,
just
but
like
they
football.
don't even. So how do you know that where do you start with the tennis, the ball boys? Where do you? There's just two
There's
men.
no contact also with the
No.
among the
No.
ball
It's,
boys.
it's the thing about people who come onto the pitch. Those who are watching
Yes.
from the stands.
So there's
That's
a
the
lot.
major concern.
It's total. It's different. So if they say we don't want it, and especially like I said, because the cases are not as high in the Middle East. It's 83 people. That's
Yes.
a large number, but it's nothing compared. It's nothing compared to Europe.
So thousands are coming, and they're coming from different locations.
And you understand, with F1, yes, we are all traveling from different locations. You will see people from Latvia, Morocco, Nigeria. We are all from Africa. We are all traveling. From Europe, we are all traveling. From South America, we are all traveling. How can you contain that? And then we are all running, Louis, picture. And
guess what?
then the
Exactly.
Flufis doesn't take a picture with us. We're like, snob.
Another thing. Thank you very much. So that's another.
And then if he says, don't touch me, snob. Just
or will you
everybody.
stop somebody from sneezing?
Exactly. We need something for
You can't
sneezing.
do it.
Because I remember Louis is flying, and he says, one person is already coughing. And he covers his face with nose mask. So it's not a lot of things. It just prevention is better than cure.
Exactly. Delicate situation there. Being Hands comes in here. Thank you, Being. It says, hello. Hi, Val. How you doing? I'm fine. Thank you. Tega and talk about greetings. Amazing weekend for me. My FPL team, Man United and OGS, and Mr. Desanya. It says, Pep hopefully would put his anger on Arsenal. And Taya here says, most of these footballers are a tragic incident away from poverty each time they play football in Nigeria. One of the reasons foreign football is attractive. And Fadonsi from Badagry says the Israel Adesanya fellow is an original Yekparekba guy. So I actually thought that other boxer would mince meat of him. Interesting.
Yeah.
Thank you. He said,
Romero
"Congrats
was
on-
actually big. So
Congrats anyway." Let's move on to the next story. Madrid lose at Betis to hand top spots back to Barca. How many of you saw this match? Now, Real Madrid's response to winning the Clásico was another surprise defeat yesterday as they lost 2-1 away at Real Betis to hand the initiative straight back to Barcelona. Betis was deserving victors, or were deserving victors, of a thrilling contest at the Benito Villamarin, where two galling Madrid errors cost them their place at the top of La Liga, with Barca now 2 points clear.
I mean, what shall it profit Real Madrid to win El Clasico and then go ahead and lose, handing the owners back to FC Barcelona,
Their coach.
who won also controversially because a lot of people believe Messi should have seen a red in that match.
Yeah,
but they went
that's
on to win, and Betis could have actually beaten Real Madrid a lot more than the scoreline, the 2-1 that they won. But it still was a loss for them. And Zinedine Zidane must be licking his wounds right now and hoping that Barcelona will drop points, because now the ball is not in their court anymore. It's now left for Barcelona to slip up for Real Madrid to catch them.
He describes it as their worst game in the season. He said they lacked energy, fluency, possession, aggression. Was a bad day, and that can happen.
I like the way Zizou knows how to do this, my job. I think we should invite him to the studio next
I
time.
know.
And
But he claims responsibility. That's a
he's
good
clearly not doing well on the touchline. He will do better in the studio because He's right. They did lack urgency. It looked like every single chance they created was born out of a struggle. If you're coming on from a high of just defeating Barcelona, getting to the top of the table, that's not the kind of way you approach the game. But his players were not. I'll blame him number one, but I also blame the players on the pitch, because the best plans are down to the people that execute it at the war front. So at the end of the day, the onus is also on the players. I would say this again. What did Jovic do to you, Zizou? Just give him 2 minutes. I don't even, when it's 90 minutes, put him on the pitch. We know in La Liga they barely give 5 minutes. Except something really happens. Put him on in the 90th minute. Let's just see that he's still a player.
At least
let him just run from one end of the pitch to the other. You understand? Try for me, please. Try for me, my brethren. Thank you.
I hope he's listening. Let's take a break, Lagos. This is Locker Room 981 here on Smooth 98.1. We'll be back after this.
The video is up on LIS. So I put a sneak preview of the video for those people that did not come. Thank you, Emma. That's how to do. Forgive. Do I look like Jesus? Thank you, Emma.
Emma is the correct guy. He went to represent us so well.
He's not. Which horse? Which horse did he go to? Emma came for himself and for me. You represent yourself.
What do you want? Shredded chicken.
I want breakfast in Delhi's.
Where is it?
Delhi's is here.
Okay.
That's the bribe you will give me, and I will forgive you.
Done.
And I hope he covers us.
Who is horse? There's no horse here. You stand by yourself. How did it? Salvation is a one-man business.
Yep.
That's what the Lord said. Work out your salvation in fear and trembling. Val has worked out salvation. Where is your salvation? You have to work out your own.
I'll be a matter.
You'll be all right.
FPL was a disaster this weekend.
Are you serious? Suppose FPL were lit.
It was lit, now. And I watched the FPL show on Super Sport, and they warned us that this double game week is a trap. And some of us still went and bought City and Arsenal players.
Do you know what? I'm telling you. Do you know what? Apart from there's nothing wrong with Arsenal players like Bukayo.
Scored, like I said, of course nobody will have Lava because they know he won't start.
But Bukayo Saka and Aubameyang gave my friend.
I think 1 point.
No. Bukayo gave my friend 8 points.
No, 1 point. Now Bukayo is in my team now.
How can Bukayo give you 1 point?
He didn't do anything. He didn't do assist.
Hold on.
I'll show you now.
I'm not telling you. Show me. I saw my friend's stuff.
So, where did he get his own from?
I don't know. They added so his points, because I know that it was 23 before the 4 o'clock kickoff. Okay, then Bukayo gave him points. Oba gave him 1, but Bukayo gave him 1.
Yeah.
Check your FPL again.
No, Saka was 2 points.
It wasn't 2. Let it come on. How can it be 2 points? Saka played now. No. He didn't assist but he did stuff.
We're back.
Okay.
Please, studio silence. Check your time. It's 28 minutes before 9 o'clock. You're listening to Smooth 98.1. Smooth Breakfast with Valentine Ohu. And Locker Room is on, where we talk sports with Tega Supreme and Tope Cole. Ladies and gentlemen, the WhatsApp number is 0809-444-0981. Femi steps in on WhatsApp, actually, from Festac. He says, may the soul of Chineme Martins rest in peace. Amen. And MI from Akoka says, hardcore fans be like, what the F1 is going on? Laughing aloud. He says, safety over everything is the right way now. My hand goes out to the family and fans of Nasarawa United. Sad that there is no SOP for such emergencies. By the way, can the Real Madrid step forward, please? I want to check some.
The real Real Madrid.
Yes, the Real Madrid. And Big T from Lagos says, if you do not believe in God, then explain how come COVID-19 has not killed us all here, when we don't even have functional ambulances at football stadium. God is working overtime in Nigeria. That's true. Thank you, Big T. But then again, we need to fix our health system and emergency response in sports. Diego Kingston says, I think I said it after week 7 in La Liga and Serie A. If you wink, you miss, is how leagues will be decided.
Yes, so yes, that's
So
what's
it's still
true.
not sure for Barca themselves.
Yeah, because they could go tomorrow and lose.
Yeah.
So
All right.
they're not playing pretty too.
Emeka from Amo says, earlier this season, Manchester City beat Arsenal 3-0 just after they lost their previous game. Talk about, I'm looking at you. Now again, they lost again against United, and now their next game is against Arsenal. My fear now is that City will go all John Wick against Arsenal, as though we're the cause of their problems.
I'm just as scared.
Lastly, all these United fans should calm down. By next week, you hear them shouting, "Ole out again!" All right, let's get to our next story. Aaron Ramsey starred as Juventus beats title rivals Inter Milan 2-0 on Sunday to reclaim top spots in Serie A in a game played behind closed doors due to the coronavirus outbreak. Earlier in the day, Italian Sports Minister Vincenzo Spadafora called for the league season to be put on hold. His statement caused chaos at the early game between Spal and Parma, which confused players, with confused players sent back to the dressing room from the tunnel before eventually taken to the field 5 minutes after the scheduled kickoff. Now, Juventus' game against Inter in Turin did go ahead, although in an empty Allianz Stadium, with the defending champions taking a 1-point lead over Lazio at the top of the table.
Yeah, it was a very, very weird match. Behind closed doors, you could, instead of hearing the crowd chants, could hear the players shouting on each other, the coaches shouting on, you could hear the sound of the ball, everything. If a needle dropped in that stadium, you would hear it. But it was a great match for Juventus. I don't know what's happening to Inter Milan. Seems like it's Lazio that is going to challenge them for the title. We all thought it was going to be Antonio Conte's side, but it's not seeming so. Dybala scored an exquisite goal. I'm a fan of individual brilliance. Most of the time when they are ranking top goals at the end of the season, they love all those long-range strikes. Dybala's goal this season is one of the best that I've seen.
I mean,
And let's not forget
you must love basketball.
basketball, the dribble side of it, because I'm really not a basketball fan.
Okay.
But of course, Ramsey, aka Rambo, stepped up and he scored the first goal before Dybala, who did not start the match, rounded it off for Juventus and made Mauricio Sarri look like a genius. But they got all 3 points and they are back on top of the summit.
That's interesting. Shegun from Ikorodu sends in a message on WhatsApp, says this Madrid is like NEPA. They brought light against Barca only to switch it off on the next match. Oh, wow. Guys, trolling on me. Ridwan says, I knew no miracle will make Aimba qualify in Conakry. Ole really scored Badiola this season, and Tello showed those Baldain and his boys that he still has Catalonia blood in him. RIP to Martins. Thank you, Ridwan. Keep your messages coming into WhatsApp 0809 444 0981. Carlo Ancelotti said everything went wrong for Everton in their 4-0 defeat to Chelsea, with Frank Lampard hailing the contribution of Billy Gilmore. He said, what went wrong? Everything went wrong. From the first minute until the end, we're not in the game. We're slow. We're not compact. And it's difficult to say something specific because everything was wrong on that day.
Don Carlos' worst game as an Everton boss since he took over at Goodison Park. I've not seen them play as shambolic as they did against Chelsea, to the point that a Smalley Gilmore was man of the match in that particular fixture. He earned his starting spot after playing very well in the FA Cup. Unfortunately for Chelsea, I don't think he's going to be able to help them qualify past Bayern Munich in the UEFA Champions League. We'll wait to see if he's going to start that one, but Chelsea played like they were definitely going to run riots on Everton, and that's exactly what they did.
All right. More messages. Big T says Manchester United beats Chelsea twice, beats Man City twice. To Manchester United fans, that's almost a trophy.
Big T, kneel down in the corner and put up your hands.
Close your eyes.
Close your eyes.
Open your mouth.
Don't try me again.
But I felt it. Big T, well done. Keep your messages coming in, please. Let's look to YouTube. YouTube, actually, this one, Lekon Droba sent in on YouTube, says, very sad. We never take health seriously, and some people have to be indicted for this. That's speaking to the United loss.
Yeah.
Ale Blosu says, God rest the dead. Nigeria's problem is just too much. Lekon is back. He says, Tayo must talk about, or you meant talk about? Let's talk about Chelsea today. I must see an Arsenal fan praise Chelsea today.
Already did.
Well done. All right. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is in the news. Manchester United boss Ole Gunnar Solskjaer said it is a privilege to manage his players as he completed the Premier League double over Derby rivals Manchester City for the first time in a decade. In his words, Solskjaer said, "It's a privilege to be their manager. They give you absolutely everything. They know they're all good players, but they want to learn as well. We feel we're improving as a squad and a team. We feel the fans want us to do well, and they see what we're doing, so it's going to get better and better."
I'm sure he's still in cloud nine right now. And apart from being the first one to get the double over Manchester City in a decade, he's also the second manager behind Jurgen Klopp to get a double over Pep Guardiola. It's not happened before. So apart from Klopp, of course, so he definitely must be in cloud nine. I wouldn't say Manchester United played too well. I'd say City were poor on the day. No Kevin De Bruyne, City does not turn up. We all know that City are prioritizing the UEFA Champions League. Probably that's why they rested the Belgian. But the English Premier League definitely is out of their reach right now. So they're just going to take chill pills on that one and focus on the bigger prize, which is UEFA Champions League, which they might not even play next season due to the ban. But of course, Arsenal are going to suffer it because we're up next and they're going to pour all the vengeance on beating the Gunners. Hopefully, we'll be able to survive that.
I like how you just said, I mean, I don't necessarily like it, but I find it interesting that you just took it away from Manchester United, so they didn't have to work so hard. Just City didn't work as much. This is Classic says, may the Nasarawa player's soul rest in peace. Meanwhile, Real Madrid has been a faithful wife to her husband, Barcelona. That's why they celebrated the International Women's Day in a grand style. It's a Real should keep it up. Wow. Emma is back. Emma from Akoka says, Shinarambo always doing well in big games. Things like this make us appreciate what the fans bring to football games. All of you saying Bruce Wayne will bring out Batmobile against Arsenal. Don't you know that this season is the apprentices have been beating their guys? That Igalo's hold-up play against City was great, but it's no surprise because he's been used to hold up in Lagos. Wow, Igalo FC is doing well. Am I? Okay, that's enough for today, please.
Was that the Emma that came to your event?
Yes! Enough. My goodness. And Shegun from Ikorodu is back. He says if the Premier League was a Big 16 league, they would have won. What season as a manager, Pep will so go on another league this time. It will be called an emergency league. All right, Tottenham Hotspur manager Jose Mourinho singled out the club's record £54 million midfielder Tega Onojaife for some stinging criticism against or after stopping him at halftime on Saturday's 1-1 draw at Burnley. The Portuguese says, in the first half, we didn't have a midfield. Of course, I'm not speaking of Skip because he's a kid of 19 who's played 2 hours in the last few days. I do not criticize him at all.
To be fair on Jose Mourinho, Ndombele was very, very, very poor, especially in the first half, and that's why he was taking off wrong passes, wrong tackles. He didn't do absolutely anything. But is Ndombele a good player? Yes, he is, because he did well under the previous boss, Mauricio Pochettino. And of course, he was just brought into the English Premier League for a high price tag, 54 million, I believe. And so I think he's still going to come through well for Jose Mourinho. And Jose is not somebody to shy away from calling out his players. He singled out Ndombele and called him out, either to try to ginger him for the future or to shift criticism from himself, whichever divide you are on. Ndombele did not do well in the first half, and so Jose has the right to call him out.
Chara says Chelsea Carlo got a double on Citizens back then. And Chinwe Nancy is back on the news. He says, Chinwe says, Lampard gradually becoming a genius over his former boss coaches, or that's former bosses. No one is talking about it though. First it was against Mario, now it's against Ancelotti. Well done, Lampard. Pat on the back there. Olumide Adeni says that Antonio Conte was the first coach to do the double over Guardiola ever in the 2015-2016 EPL season. More stories to go through. Mikel Arteta praised his Arsenal team for passing the touch test against West Ham and earning 3 valuable points in their pursuit of Champions League qualification. In his words, this is how he expressed it. We had the moments of luck we needed, but as well it was because we had some really good individual performances at the back. Sometimes to clear the ball, sometimes to make the save.
Okay, I would say this for Arsenal. They did try because West Ham made them work for it. I remember stating about London's derbies that in London derbies it doesn't matter the form you come into the derby with, At the end of the day, they're just going to fight. Both teams are just going to fight it out. But with Arsenal West Ham, it seems more likely that Arsenal will defeat West Ham in a West Ham derby. Don't worry, there's once or twice that West Ham have gotten a win over them.
Yeah.
But most in general is Arsenal thrashing West Ham, at least by a 2-goal margin. But this day was a totally different day. Arsenal had to fight for it. Arsenal had to work hard, and then it was Lacazette, who has been struggling in other games this season, that Nketiah was the guy benching him. That now came on the pitch and got the goal. For me, I asked several questions about Mesut Ozil. I understand that, yeah, you're a creative player, you like to give chances to other people, but he could have scored the header.
Yeah, he could even have scored a chance earlier on.
Earlier on, that he decided to pass to the other guy. So maybe his goal shy. What's happening to him? Is it that his confidence is really low, that he can't?
He's a cheerful helper.
He can't take his shot just in case he misses. He doesn't want to be able to sleep well at night. So those are questions he needs to ask himself as Mesut Ozil. But at the end of the day, what happened was Arsenal played in a derby. That was a tough game. They came out with 3 points and a clean sheet.
Yeah,
Oh my God!
Yes.
It was a clean sheet
Uh-huh.
that Arsenal got.
That's a light bulb moment.
I'm in shock. I still can't get over it. Pinch me, no, don't pinch me.
Yes, I expected West Ham actually to give them a tough run,
Yeah.
because West Ham shook Liverpool, even though Liverpool managed to win that match. In fact, before that one against City, yes, they packed the balls, but they also managed to shake City before City came through. And then they beat to Southampton after those two matches. Southampton that had a good vein of form heading into that one. And so I knew it was going to be tough. And it was a VAR had called goal that led Arsenal to actually do it.
I don't. Wait. No, those English referees need help, because I saw it once from Africa and I knew he was onside. So
Okay,
I don't know why VAR was running those lines.
How was that different from Aguero's goal against Manchester
No.
United? Also very marginal.
Aguero's toe was offside. This no, you could see that there was just a slight, but with Ozil, I saw from Africa first time without slow motion that it was onside. What were they drawing?
And they still use 2 minutes.
They still use Jula to be drawing line.
Diego Kingston
Those
said
people
so
don't
far
know.
this season, yesterday was best performance for Lampard and his boys. I had to leave the viewing center at first half to get juice. I was sipping through the second half. Good performance from Billy Gilmore. And then final message here from Promise. Promise from Elisha says, good morning, guys. Do not know why all these Arsenal fans are shouting up and down. They win, draw or lose, still ninth. We all should just keep quiet. Shut up, boy. Just like keep quiet. Conte and Nuno did go home and away against Guardiola. United fans, take chill pill, please. And then, what's your name? Omotala Fanjoa says, please, I do not want to hear that there will not be fans during Liverpool game with Atletico Madrid, because it's our noise that won that game. And Fred says, hey, Nuno Espirito Santo also beats Guardiola twice. It was even the first. Thank you guys for being part of the show. Next, we'll have a conversation on Lagos Talks 981 about one of the headlines and today's stories in today's newspapers. Keep the conversation going on with our hashtag LockerRoom981. Tweet at Tega Supreme. Tope is what?
On Instagram, tipsycoooll, COOLL.
On Twitter?
On Twitter, real_tipsy.
Fantastic. All right. Stay tuned to Smooth 98.1. Still Smooth Breakfast with Valentine. What are we talking about today?